right, you're asking more details on the Grotto well shaft entrance. So I'm going to expand on that. We're talking about the area where the Grand Gallery, and I'm not going to draw it exactly perfect, meets up with the Queen shaft. You got the thing there. That's the area we're going to zoom in on. Now, it's in reality much better than I have it here. This goes down about a meter and then shoots to the side and then goes down. Okay, so it's and you can, there are nice drawings of it, so I don't have to. So it's that area with this being the gallery itself. Okay, so you get that. If you don't, I can work on it. This is looking north at the structure, or actually, if you're looking south at the structure, it doesn't. No, wait. Would stick to the. This would go towards the west. The same way, because it's, you got that whole pit down there, and you got the same thing, and then you got the grotto that actually sticks out. That sticks out to the, well, it interfaces with it, so it obviously is there. So what we're going to look at is focusing on that area there. And how I say it's a switch. So let me blow this up. We got the floor line, we got the tooth. I guess I'm going to make it, now if I'm going to make it about real size, let me drop it down a little bit further. Got the floor line, we got the tooth. Let's expand this back, okay? We got the entrance to it. This extends over, actually it doesn't. Yes, it does. We got the, like the wall going up, okay? Now this would have been, you'd have seen a well. And then up here, actually up here would have been the next one. These, the wells on the side there, okay? All right, this is that. So this optically pretty much looks the same as all the other ones, but this one's unique because this one actually came down about another inch or two, and I'm going to take and rotate this so that we can look at, I'm going to try to get it the same way. This is the edge of the gallery wall. This would be the well, okay? That is this well. Only this part is actually hollowed and it comes over and back up, okay? From here, there is a oval cutout right here, and this doesn't matter. And it came down at an angle. All right, and there was an opening on it. You can look at the thing. There's an opening about, actually it would have been about here, that came down, that they broke into, and you can see the remnants of what would have been, I'm looking at it, this area would have been the step, okay? That would have been the step, and it comes down, and this right here would be this step that came across. So the liquid that came in would spill into this area here, which would have been the area I talked about that went then back and out, okay? From the back edge here, just in front of where that is another spillway that went in, and that's about where that tube sucks up from. So the tube that I'm talking about that comes from, it looks like it actually comes, it looks like it goes practically all the way to the top, like it spits in. When suction occurs, it spits in from pulling from below this lip, pulling up like that. That's a resistance factor, like a straw, because I'm assuming if we put suction, it's going to spit there before it spits the surface tension here, especially if it's a quick suck. If it's a slow suck, this is what we're playing with here. So let me get into this. This spills into, and it's moving towards, spills into there. This spills in from this side into the same well, and then this well, so it spills, they both spill into this well, and then this well spills into there. And I think it has to, the lip that it hits is probably, we're going to play with, because that is going to help adjust what they're doing. They have a liquid that from the outside, when it reaches this level, will spill into here, and until it fills up here, until it caps it off. Well, if it's outside, it'll just keep filling until it spills into here, and it'll keep filling its level, but it won't, because it'll spill out. The liquid that falls into here, because of the weight, will push down and spill out, but won't come back this way because of the weight of this liquid on top of it. So it will allow the liquid that spills up to here to spill down, spill in, and spill out, and maintaining this more dense liquid once it reaches this elevation to spill into here and spill out, and maintaining its elevation. Do you see how it will maintain its elevation under this other liquid? So if this, whatever it is spilling down the center of the Grand Gyre, you also notice this is steps in about 3 inches and goes up. There are reasons for all of this. But whatever the liquid is spilling into here, when it spills into there, whatever nature does to separate it, we're going to have a heaviest liquid, or will become heavier after the reaction, that is a byproduct that spills out. I believe this heavy liquid is going to be something like deuterium, heavy water, which has a creep factor, which I think is why it has the tail to collect and spill it open. And this will maintain the density of the heavy water, so that this water is less likely to creep when the density of the heavy water is even higher over here. But even when it reaches its density, it will still spill off. So I think that's our heavy water barrier gap. From there, we have another liquid that rides on top of it. We'll just call this water. This standard water, once it reaches this elevation, will spill off. Okay, no big deal. It'll spill down, it'll spill off. But soon as another liquid is introduced that will ride on top of it, it's going to create this gap. The way the bottom of this is, I believe it's right at that level. It's going to create a lock that another liquid will then start riding on top of it, because it is less dense. And the more dense than the other liquid will spill out. You know, it will, that liquid will saturate. Oh, did I mention this is only about, the opening there is only about yo big. So when the heavy water does fill here, the heavy water will block off that spillway. So the liquid on top of here doesn't have the ability to spill down there. And since this is at the same elevation as the outside entrance, it is airlocked so that this liquid, it can't go any higher because it keeps spilling off. And it's locking the liquids in here that the only way it has out is to come up and spill through here and out. And then the lighter water itself will reach a maximum elevation just below the opening of that tube. And that tube is, I believe, the like circuit breaker that will allow, if there's too much of a vacuum here, instead of messing with the system, they just pull some heavy water up to the top and let it play pachanga going back down again. But they don't want to take a chance, I believe, of bubbling up any of the other waters and messing with the symmetry of the system. They give nature a way to blow when it wants to blow. But this is the everything is at, we put everything at a level so that it's a water lock. Okay, we can play with this. I'd like to model it. I'd like to get and like take a styrofoam image of that and then use that and rebuild from there, because I want it to be as accurate to the structure. Although this is my creation, this is my fabrication out of my mind, and I know how I want it to work. But I want to use their mold and fabricate from there, and hopefully get the truest, get people to see this. And if we get the exact mold out of the blueprints, which are hidden in the Nazca lines, not really hidden, they're underneath people's houses, then we can show people that these people were really smart. Okay, really, really smart. I can't. Look, that's just pretend that's what it is. Look at the pictures and just pretend that's what I'm suggesting to you. The pieces are there. This little bit, pieces of it are there, and the rest of it, I wish I could pull up the blueprints, but anybody wants to talk to me about that frustration, I'll be happy to share it with you. All right, but here you go. Okay, it's a big switch, big lock, big switch, whatever you want to call it. You give it a name. A multi-phase separator. You like that one?